Everyone, thanks for joining. Thanks for your time today. So what I'm going to explain today is it's not really a new way of living, but I am of 100% belief that if we are able to live and start living most of our life this way, there's going to be a lot of change that happens. And this is the way human beings are actually supposed to live. Now, a lot of us may find we may find through this session today, lots of excuses coming up. How is it practical? How can we do it? How will we have a social life? All of those things will come up. The idea, I'm not here to solve those problems for you. I'm here to show you a life which is achievable. Okay, even if we manage to get 5 out of 7 days in a week, it's going to be good for us. You know, we have to look at statistics. I've been in the field of health for a very long time now. You know, we have doctors, like I always say, we have nutritionists, we have superfoods, we have gyms, we have everything. But something doesn't add up, because when you look at the statistics of disease, it's only getting worse and worse. More and more people with low immunity, more and more people dying of cancer, cardiovascular, millions of diabetics and millions of diabetics dying every single year. Something has to change. And a lot of us have been, you know, literally fooled and brainwashed by what we've learned in the media, over news channels, through magazines, over the years. You see, people who we look up to, organizations that we look up to. I'm not here to, you know, put down anyone, but we have to understand that basically people don't care anymore. People don't care about human beings. We have to wake up to that ugly truth. Very, very, very few people genuinely care. The rest of it is all about greed. It's all about money. It's all about status. It's all about show. It's all about everything. And that's become such a stimulation that everyone, including the generations below us, they want to wake up and live that life, which is a very, very superficial life at some point. I'm not here to tell you today that you shouldn't make money. I'm not here to tell you that you should not have a life of abundance. I'm not here to tell you that you shouldn't have fancy things. I'm here to say that, number one, you got to live according to the laws of nature. If you can do that and enjoy and make money and live an abundant life, that's your success. But what's happening today, it's the opposite. For the longest time, we've been fooled into compromising our sleep to work for companies and make money for people who don't really care for us. When they don't need you, they'll kick you out of the company. When they need you, they'll use you when it comes to promoting time, you know, all of that stuff. Everyone's gone through that. Okay, everyone's gone through that. My whole point is, what are you getting out of it? Okay, a couple of years ago in Finland, for the first time, night shift workers, especially women, were able to actually make claims from the company of millions of dollars for the breast cancer that they got. Today, there are scientific studies showing us how night shifts especially affect and increase a woman's risk of cancer from anywhere between 33 to 55% breast cancer. Scientific documented studies. We're going to understand how we live in this world. So everyone makes us think, you know, I don't like this one statement that people carelessly use. Oh, everyone's resilient. We'll go through the worst and we'll be resilient again. That's what they want you to believe. But how much will you go through before you understand that sometimes human beings have a set point? Human beings have a certain capacity. And if they go beyond that capacity, there is no such thing as a superhuman. There are very few superhumans who are able to do everything, and still maintain their health. You know, young kids look at social media and they look at stories of billionaires and tycoons who only show them the good side of their life. They'll show them pics of their Ferraris and their yachts and everything else, but they won't show them the disease they go through. They won't show them the suffering, the pain, the amount of pills they're on, the amount of drugs they're on. Because like I said, the outside world has to be stimulating to keep people engaged. And that is what has messed up human health. Even though we have more, at our time right now, okay, human happiness is at the least. Suicides are at the most. Depression is at the most. Broken relationships are at the most. Something is wrong. Today, you may be a cancer patient watching this video. You may be someone with diabetes, with cardiovascular diseases. You may be just someone who's looking at the prevention of disease, someone who's looking at improving every sphere of their life. Well, to do that, I am going to share with you the actual way of living. You see, this is not my opinion. I think we have enough of opinions in the world. Even when I tell people that this may be a nice way of doing something, it's my opinion. It doesn't have to suit you. But today, I am teaching you to live within the cycles of nature, respect the laws of nature. Science is showing us how the circadian rhythm, what is the circadian rhythm? Light and dark, day and night. Okay, our eat slice cycles, our sleep cycles, all of this is rhythm. The human body is a rhythm machine. Every cell in our body vibrates at a frequency and is controlled by a rhythm. I can't have my liver at a different frequency from my kidney and my heart. Our heart has a rhythm, your pulse rate, your heartbeat, your pressure. These are all rhythms. Your digestion has a rhythm as well. The rhythm of your digestive system will be different when you wake up, different at midday, different in the evening, different at night, and even different when you're sleeping. Your eyesight will tune into different frequencies, photic. These are called photic frequencies, according to light. If there's bright light, you'll squint. Okay, if there's very, very faint light, you'll open your eyes a little bit more. These are all frequencies and rhythms. We are rhythm. Now, if we are synced in at the right rhythm, we evolve, we thrive. But if our rhythms are disconnected, we can have anything from a cancer, a heart disease, to a hormonal imbalance, to depression. All of these things means the body is out of rhythm. We have disease when the body is not at ease, which means when the cells are not working in harmony with each other. So if you hear a band playing or someone playing a piece on the guitar or a piano, if they make a note, the rhythm is broken. The sound doesn't sound like sound anymore. It sounds like noise. There is rhythm in everything, which is why good music, peaceful music can make us feel peaceful. Certain kind of music can make us feel like dancing or more energetic. Some music will make us feel meditative. All of these are frequencies and rhythms. If we didn't have rhythms, we would not be able to connect with external frequencies from sound, from light, from animal sounds, the laughter of a baby, the laughter of an adult. We are all connected with rhythms and frequencies. And that is why the way of living that I'm talking about brings us back to aligning ourselves with the laws of nature. Now, you can still have a great life, and I'm going to teach you how to do that today. But a lot of people will already be thinking, oh, he's going to tell her to sleep at the same time every day, not socialize. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Generations and generations, tribes after tribes, they have lived according to the laws of nature. They have sung at night, they have had rituals, they've had festivals and ceremonies and all of that stuff, and they've lived healthy and happy lives. We can do the same when we understand. The first mindset that we have to change is everyone is going to say, oh, Luke, but times have changed. Yes, times have changed, but the human body and the laws of nature have not changed. So using that statement that times have changed, yes, we have to change in many ways. One of them is change the way we live. It doesn't mean we have to change according to times. If we have to change according to times, everyone right now should be on TikTok. Everyone should be only eating junk food and artificial food because that's what times are defining. But do we do that? Absolutely not. So we have to be very careful of the words that we use because they create the mindsets that exist within our mind. Times have changed, but fundamentals never change. Has gravity changed? Has the law of gravity changed? It hasn't. No matter how much of time, how many things have changed in our world, advancement in technology, people have gotten, or they think they're cooler than before, the laws of gravity have not changed. The principles of nature have not changed. So when we start operating beyond and challenging, when we start challenging the cycles of nature, which is your circadian rhythm, when we start challenging the laws, the biological laws of nature, guess what? We are out of sync. We are out of rhythm. You don't just want to have disease. You will feel bad. You will feel sad. You will feel lonely. Then you'll start looking outside for stimulation, comparing your lives with other people, comparing your wealth with other people, comparing your bodies with other people and everything. That's because you can only be stimulated externally. Now, the sad part and the bitter, ugly truth is that most products are sold. Most entertainment is sold based on overstimulating a human being from outside. Okay, internal stimulation cannot go and make you buy an expensive bag. It cannot make you consume so much of content and Netflix every day. But it's outside stimulation. How many people are watching the latest episode of whatever Netflix series is going on? Okay, how many people were seen at that party? How many bags did you buy? How many luxury cars did you buy? All of that stuff is outside stimulation. Now, if I really have a long road trip to make and I have to travel 2 hours a day and I want comfort, I will spend my money on a really, really good luxury, comfortable car. because that has stimulated me from inside. There's an end goal. But if I have to buy a luxury car because 10 of my friends have it and I need to show that I'm also wealthy and I also have class. So I decide the class of my car according to that. Okay, that is outside stimulation. You're driven and controlled by outside circumstances, which challenge the laws of nature. It's not truly coming from within you. It's never going to make you happy. You'll be happy showing off for the first week, the second week, the third week after that. It's just another car, because outside stimulation loses its shine. It always loses its shine. So coming back to interesting science, cardiovascular disease, when you disrupt your circadian rhythm, what is your circadian rhythm? When there is light, okay, I'm going to explain a little bit of science before we get into solution mode, okay? In the hypothalamus of our brain, okay, we have a clock. It's a biological clock. It is a master clock, like any other clock that you have, okay? This is the suprachiasmatic nucleus. It is within your hypothalamus. This controls 100 plus other clocks in your body. The master clock controls 100 plus clocks in our body. You have clocks in every cell in the human body. You have clocks in your heart. You have it in your brain, every single cell. Your immunity has clocks in as well. And your suprachiasmatic nucleus, the master clock, controls the functioning of every other clock. So let's see, what does your biological clock control in your body? Everything. Your energy levels, the quality of your sleep, your hormone secretion and regulation, your heartbeat, your high blood pressure, your blood sugar levels, your digestive enzymes, your immune system, your hunger cravings, your sugar cravings, your body temperature, your fat, your weight, your cell regeneration, your stem cell regeneration, your microbiome in your gut, depression, emotions, that's everything. Everything is controlled by that clock. Now think about it. If we took away your clocks, your phones, or your watches for a day, you would have chaos in your day, because you run your day according to time. Everything works according to time. Your work, your sleep, your phone calls, your calls, whatever it is. If you didn't have a clock to follow, you would have chaos in your day. If this biological clock in your mind is not working the right way, what do you have in your body? Chaos. Right from hormones to emotions to depression to weight to whatever. So everyone jumping on fad diets, everyone chasing fad medications and stuff like that. If your master clock is not synced in with the rhythms of nature, you will have discomfort. And here's exactly why, no matter how much we have in terms of technology, medicine, chemotherapy, drugs that make us happy, drugs that make us sad, entertainment, we have more disease and we have more unhappiness, because we are operating beyond the biological parameters. Most of our clocks are not working according to the rhythm of nature. There will be another pill for them to sell you. There will be another superfood for them to sell you. There'll be a new chemotherapy that will come out. There will be everything that comes out, but unless you change the way you live and you start operating within the laws of nature, only then are things going to get better for you. And today, from years of experience, you know, my field is nutrition. I should be talking nutrition, but I'm here today to tell you that nutrition is 5% of the game. Your exercise is another maybe 5% of your game. Your sleep is a huge proportion of the game of health. Your emotional wellness is a huge percentage of that. I'm not going to lie just because nutrition is my subject and tell you to eat more healthy food. I'm here to tell you on the simplest diet, if you operate within the laws of nature, that simple diet is going to be sufficient for you. Now, what if I take a sick patient, a dying patient, okay, anyone, okay, and I take them out from their current lifestyle, okay, forget about food, exercise, everything else, okay, and I put them into this new way of living, which is simply operating according to the biological parameters that define us, which means our eat cycles, our sleep cycles, our workout cycles. If I can align you with the laws of nature, you know, that sick body taken out from an environment which is no longer working or just suppressing the symptoms and making the patient sicker, I'm taking this patient and putting them in a new environment. You know what's going to heal you? You know what's going to make you better? You know what's going to help you with the recovery process? The cycles of nature. There is nothing on this planet more powerful than the healing cycles of nature, which is your own body. Everyone has an immune system, and every scientist and every doctor knows that it is your immune system that can heal you, and it is your immune system that can kill you, irrespective of the treatments. So we have treatments on one side, which I'm not against, take it. But on the other side, I have a whole intelligence in the human body, which in order to work efficiently has to be synced in with the right rhythm, at the right rhythm with nature. If I'm able to create that, guess what? Your medicines are probably going to work better for you. Most people may not even need medication. I'm not here to say jump off your medication. I'm here to tell you the truth. I'm not here to divert your attention from medicine. I have medical doctors in my own team. I'm not against medicine. I'm here to show you a possibility. Because guess what, guys and women? It's about time we realize that we're doing the same things and getting the same results. Are the results what we want? No. Then we got to do different things. If we have the same approach, we get the same results. If we now start looking at new possibilities and we change our approach, guess what? We are going to get different results. And the results are going to be better because guess what? They come without chemicals. They come without complication. They come with an intelligence which we already have. We need to harness that intelligence. So when I look at these clocks are groups. These clocks are groups of complicated molecules, okay, that are driven by proteins and genes. And these clocks are basically signals. So the moment my nucleus sees light, there are hundreds of functions that my clocks will start controlling in other parts of my body. And when my nucleus sees darkness, there are 100+ different functions that all my clocks will now be synced into. But when my light and my dark is all confused because of my lifestyle, I'm going to have chaos in my clocks running the basic biology and chemistry and physiology of my body. No drug can change that. No amount of meditation can change that. No amount of superfoods can change that. No amount of exercise can change that. What can change that is realignment to the rhythm of nature. So let's now talk about a little bit of science. We spoke about cardiac problems. When people are not following the circadian rhythm of living, you have cardiac arrest, you have inflammation in your heart, you have high blood pressure, you have all of these issues, including platelet aggregation, which is destroying your immune system. Depression patients can never get better if they do not align with the circadian rhythm. Because at night, when you sleep at the right time, which most depression patients don't do, there is serotonin, there is dopamine, there are the neurotransmitters that will be activated that can help you out of your depression. But because you don't, your depression gets worse. And there is no depression medication that can make you feel better. Depression medication suppresses your symptom. You have to remember that. Take your medication if your doctor gave it to you. But you got to start changing your lifestyle and aligning with your circadian rhythm, and you will get out of depression. How can I say this? From the books? Yes, from the books and from real life experience. We have hundreds and thousands of patients who we have just aligned their way of living to the laws of nature, and all of their problems have gotten better. Your immune system can only be strong when your circadian rhythm is working the right way. If you're confusing your days and nights every day, sleeping at different times every night, eating at different times every day, fasting at one time today, fasting at one time tomorrow, exercising in the morning today, exercising at night tomorrow, you have chaos in your body. Your immune system is right down. But most people will still say, but I did it. I exercised. I ate well. You did, but not the way that the human body requires you to do it. So we got to be smart about the way we align our nutrition, our exercise, our sleep, our meditation with the cycles of nature. That's how we do it. Today, we know that night shifts can cause, and I'm not here to create fear. I'm here to tell you the truth. I know my statement, okay? And when you see the scientific paper, which we share with you, it's on the internet. Just type night shift workers and breast cancer, and you will get 39+ medically and scientifically written articles on correlations of cancer with night shift workers. I'm not here to scare you. I'm here to inspire the next generation, because if the next generation thinks it's cool to go up and work in night shifts, maybe it's not cool anymore. Maybe it's not. So we need to know the truth at the same time. Now, I want to come down to a simple point on these clocks. Okay, for a clock to work, a normal clock to work for you, you need battery power, you need fuel. Your biological clock needs light and day. Light and darkness. These are the stimulators for your main master biological clock. It works on those bases. So, you know, when you they've done experiments where you take a human being and you put them in a dark cave and they keep them for 24 to 48 hours, they lose sense of everything because the biological clock cannot work without light. So it's very, very different. Sometimes there could be sound as well. You know, like the chirping of birds in the morning is enough to stimulate the body to wake up. There are so many different things. It's a very, very complicated clock, but we're not going to get too much into the science of it. Now, let's understand how the circadian rhythm works. When you wake up in the morning, okay, your blood pressure rises a little bit automatically. That's why we never ask our patients to check blood pressure early in the morning. Check it 2 to 3 hours after you wake up. Your cortisol levels are also on the higher side. Your melatonin starts suppressing itself. You start to stop the secretion of melatonin so that you have energy to start your day. Now, someone who's sleep deprived will never have energy to start their day, okay? Now, as you move towards the afternoon time, okay, your metabolism is the highest at around lunchtime. So that's why your lunch should be a really, really good meal of lunch. Your breakfast as well. So we're going to come to ways of eating. I'm just showing you how the rhythm works in everyone's body, okay? Then towards early evening, it rises again, maybe between 4 to 6, depending on the geography that you stay. And then as the sun starts setting, your body starts slowing down. So during the day, it's looking at the accumulation of calories and energy through your eating. And as the sun sets, your body is moving more into storage, repair, regrowth, your immune system, hormonal balance, and all of that stuff. So now you think what happens, how do you disrupt the circadian rhythm, when you start having a late night meal? Right then you disrupt every part of the rhythm of your body. The human body is not designed to digest and break down food after the sun starts setting. We can, because we're resilient creatures. But what's the consequence of that? Irregular blood sugar levels, constipation, acidity, bloating, inability to sleep well, sluggishness in the morning. You should be waking up fresh. Most people wake up tired because the circadian rhythm is challenged. Okay, so now I want to talk about how do we live the circadian way. It's very simple. I'm asking people at least 5 out of 7 days in a week to try and live this way. Like I said, there are people with cancer right now and all of that stuff. It is mandatory that you start living in this cycle. And I don't want to guarantee, I don't like using that word guarantee because we're all scared of being sued because, you know, today people are so shallow, they pick up on words and sue you. But I want to tell you that there is 100% chance that you will start getting better. Your body will heal you beyond the medicines that you have, beyond the food that you're eating, because you are harnessing an intelligence that has been compromised because we have disrupted the circadian rhythm. Science is showing us how disruption of your sleep cycles, your eat cycles, your exercise cycles has everything to do with diabetes, cardiovascular disease, cancer, thyroid problems, obesity, weight gain, and everything else. So just imagine if it's creating that many problems, the disruption, what would happen if we started aligning our lives with the circadian rhythm? So we're going to go over a couple of points. Let's start with eating. A lot of people wake up in the morning, and they have a cup of coffee. That is stupidity. A lot of people will not like me saying this and they want to troll me on this and say something because of course they're addicted to coffee. Coffee is classified as a psychoactive drug. Okay, no one likes their drugs to be taken away from them, so they retaliate in anger. But hear me out and listen to science. I'm not telling you not to have your coffee. When you wake up in the morning, okay, for the next 2 to 3 hours, your cortisol levels are high. When you wake up in the morning, your blood pressure is higher, your cortisol levels are higher. Why would you add more cortisol into a body that already has high levels of cortisol? Let 2 hours pass, 2 to 2.5 hours to 3. You find your space, okay? 2 to 2.5 to 3. I do 3 hours. After wake up, that is the time I will have my first cup of coffee because my cortisol levels start going down again. My cortisol is already high. The moment I ingest coffee, coffee stimulates more cortisol. More cortisol means more adrenaline, which means more blood pressure, which means more increase in blood sugar levels, heart rate, and all of that stuff. It is adding no value to us. It is adding no value. Yes, everyone addicted to it and who cannot start their days without caffeine, you have a bigger problem. You're sleep deprived. Caffeine is not going to take away from the fact that you're sleep deprived. It may get you through the first 2-3 hours of your day, but you have a bigger problem, which if you don't address, you have the possibility of every possible disease, every possible metabolic syndrome, and every possible hormone imbalance in the human body. So enjoy your coffee, but not when you wake up. Wait for 2.5 to 3 hours and have your first cup of caffeine then, after your breakfast. So wake up, have your breakfast if you want, but do not have your coffee. It is a stimulant. It is great for your health, but have it at the right time. We're now trying to live according to the circadian rhythm. I'm not planning this according to your schedule, your social life, or anything like that. You got to take away what you can and build your own life out of it. Okay, it's as simple as that. So a lot of people fast today, and a lot of people do it the wrong time. They start fasting at 1 in the morning, 12 at midnight, 10 in the morning. The beauty of the circadian rhythm is the earlier you have your dinner, okay, the earlier you can break your fast. Let's say we finish our dinner by 7 o'clock in the evening. By 7 in the morning, once the sun has risen, your metabolic fire in your gut is stronger. If you get up and eat at 5 or 6 in the morning, you don't have a metabolic fire at all. Your body's still in detoxification process. You're not going to break down that food. You are not going to break down that food. Now, I know a lot of people work out at 6:30 in the morning, so they have a pre-workout thing. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not here to say your way of living is wrong. I'm here to give you a better way of living. In case you have a problem that you can't solve, a disease that you can't get out to, or you really want to align yourselves to nature, because what is unnatural is our current way of living. That is unnatural. What is natural is aligning yourselves to nature. So coming back to it, if you can fast for 12 hours, guess what? You can actually make use of having a mid-morning heavy breakfast or whatever it is, because your metabolism is so high, you will break down that food. The cycle of eating should be such that I want to eat by mid-morning or I want to eat at lunchtime, depending on my fasting cycle, because I want to get most of my calories at breakfast, lunch, and my dinner's got to be like the smallest meal possible. I can do this if I follow this cycle, because I'm working according to the cycles of nature. My metabolism is highest in morning, afternoon, by evening, it's down. If I'm going to make dinner my heaviest meal with a low metabolism, I'm not using metabolic function to break down my food. I'm making my pancreas churn out more digestive enzymes, my stomach produce more acid because it needs to force itself to digest a heavy meal. So when you look at Europeans, when you look at the Dutch, they have their croissants, their chocolate pastries. Everything is done in the morning where your metabolism is at the highest. Now, most people will say, oh, but I fast 16 to 18 hours. You put yourself into a box. If it's working for you, go ahead and do it. For most people, I'm trying to tell them with the circadian way of living, let's say you're done by 7 to 7, the sun's risen by 7:38, you can break your fast and eat a fantastic breakfast so well that you don't eat for the next 4 hours. The next 4 hours is lunch where your metabolism is high. You eat a fantastic lunch, and that doesn't require you to have a heavy dinner. Okay, now I may not be hungry after 12 hours, so I may fast for 13, 14, 15, 16. That's up to you. I may do 17 hours. But when you break your fast, break it the right way, and then you have a real good heavy meal. Get most of your calories there, your second meal fewer, and your last meal should be the leanest meal of the day. This is according to the circadian rhythm. The body wakes up, it wants energy. The body's preparing to sleep, it doesn't want energy. It doesn't want energy at all. It's moved into storage, repair, regeneration, immunity building, and all of that stuff. So that is the first cycle of eating. Try to eat your meals at the same time every day. It is so important. Now think about this, okay? You're a clock in your own body. You're used to getting lunch at 1 o'clock every day. Today, you decide to give your body lunch at 3 o'clock. What's going to happen between 1 and 3 o'clock? You may be fine, but your clocks, everything works as a clock, is used to getting lunch at 1 o'clock. It doesn't. By 1:15, by 1:30, the body starts going into stress mode. Okay, it doesn't know you've planned to eat at 3. All your clock knows is that you have not got food, and you usually get food at this time. Cortisol levels go up, fat burn switches off. Your body goes into stress mode, your breathing changes, your hormones change, your BP changes, your blood sugar levels, everything. So like a clock, you got to eat at the same time every day, whether it's 1 o'clock, whether it's 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock. I'm not here to define the time for you. I'm here to define the discipline of eating at the same time every day, period. So when you do the circadian rhythm fasting, you just eat your dinner at the same time, wake up, break your fast depending on how you feel. It's simple. Okay, now imagine intermittent fasting. Today you start at 9 o'clock in the night, fast for 16 hours. Tomorrow you start at 12 o'clock midnight. Day after you start at 8 o'clock in the night. Your body is in complete chaos. You may lose weight because you're putting less calories in your body, all of that stuff, but you are not aligned with the circadian rhythm. When you align with the circadian rhythm, you don't have to do crazy fast like 18, 20, 24 hours, all of that stuff. It's not necessary. Select 2 days in a month or 3 days where you may want to do an 18-hour fast or a 24-hour fast. Other than that, you just circadian fast. Early dinner, sunrise, the moment the sun's risen, you are welcome to eat your food according to how you feel. So keep your meal timings the same every single day. Your breakfast, your lunch, your dinner. Don't snack mindlessly. There are clocks working all the time. You disrupt the rhythm, okay? You have chaos in your body. Your body will be fine for a long time. But like I said, this is a new way of living. And when you do this for 1 week, I can guarantee all of y'all are going to feel a difference in the way you feel, your energy levels. Everything is going to get better. I'll put that challenge out later. So we've come down to eating. Let's talk about, we spoke about coffee as well, stimulants. After 12 or 1 o'clock, cut down your coffee, okay? You may still say, oh, I can sleep and have coffee. That's fine, but your coffee is still raising your cortisol levels. Remember that. As we reach evening, cortisol is meant to come down so that other hormones can start working, your melatonin and everything else. But if cortisol is way high, you're not going to be able to sleep well, which means you're disrupting your circadian rhythm. So try to make it a rule. Finish your coffee, finish your green tea by about 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, maybe your last cup of green tea by about 3 o'clock, and that's it. You got to work into a rhythm, and then your body works for you. So caffeine, very, very important. Let's talk about, let me see if I've covered my points on eating. That's why snacking is a nice way of disrupting your circadian rhythm. Now, if you do like to snack, but at the same time every day. Don't keep changing your snacking options. So come back to food. The human body is not designed to digest food in late at night. All your midnight snacking, watching Netflix and thinking I can eat something, you are disrupting your rhythm. Like I said, now this is a choice you make. I'm not here to force it on you. 1 week, follow this, and you will want to follow it as much as you can. And like I said, do it Monday to Friday. Friday, Saturday night is yours. Enjoy it, sleep late, watch Netflix, eat your midnight snack if you want to. After you circadian live, you'll automatically stop doing that because you don't enjoy it anymore. So the idea is to build a habit. Okay, let's talk straight about exercise. Even the way you exercise can disrupt it. You can't exercise one day in the morning, the next day in the afternoon, the next day at the evening. You are confusing your entire circadian rhythm. Now, there's a lot of research that shows the best workouts happen in the evening. The best workouts, but there's also mixed reviews on how morning workouts can be really good because you wake up with high cortisol, you may want to work out, your energy. So the simple thing is know your rhythm. You should know your rhythm. Are you a morning person? Then in the morning, you want to get your workouts done. You want to get all of the things that take up energy done in the morning. If you're more of a late day person, you may want to move your workouts to the evening. Know your rhythm. Which times in the day are your energies the highest? Which times in the day are your energy the lowest? Okay, know yourself. That's why self-introspection is so important for you to know. So if you're a morning person, you want to get your workouts out of the way right in the morning. If you're an evening person, you may want to choose an evening workout. So there's no one shoe that fits it all. Know your body. What are your best times? When is your brain the most focused? So then you prioritize the items of work that you want to do at that particular time. It is so important for you to do that because there are some people who are night owls. They're more creative in the night. Okay, they're more energetic in the night. Everyone is different. So you got to align yourself differently according to your rhythm. Okay, now, yeah, so exercise, again, work out at the same time every day. Please understand it is extremely important not to change your timings because your body, again, expects that to happen at a particular time. But now you're suddenly calm and your body clock knows that, okay, this is the time where Luke is relaxed and I go and I start doing a workout. There's chaos and confusion. We can do it sometimes, but eventually you want to come into a rhythm. Everything works according to a clock. Human beings too, and you have to. You have to work according to the clock. Let's talk about sleep. This is by far the most important thing. I cannot tell you. Matt Walker, who heads for sleep sciences for Berkeley, I'm going to read out a quote that he says, "Sleep is not an optional lifestyle. It is a non-negotiable biological necessity." But we think today that sleep is a luxury because we've compromised our sleep for everything else. The day you compromise your sleep, you have disrupted your circadian rhythm. That will have an impact on your weight, your hormones, your immunity, your moods, everything, everything. The human body is resilient. We can miss a couple of nights here or there, be, sleep deprived, but at least Monday to Friday now, try to start going to sleep at the same time, whether it's 9, 10, 11, or whatever. The earlier, the better. Sleep at the same time and try to wake up with sunrise. Do this. Then you are respecting the laws of nature. Even if you're insomniac, even if you can't, get into bed at the same time. You've got to retrain your body to sleep at the same time. The second thing that can disrupt your circadian rhythm is artificial light. Blue light from your phone, from the TV screen, from bright lights, tube lights. The moment you're exposed to that, it suppresses melatonin. Melatonin will disrupt your circadian rhythm. Melatonin will make your cancer worse if you don't have sufficient enough. Today, melatonin is called an anti-cancer vaccine. While you are sleeping, melatonin is what puts you to sleep. It roams around your body, boosting your immunity, looking for cancer cells that are behaving abnormally, proliferation, all of that stuff. So that's why sleep is essential for your healing. Sleep is essential for prevention. Without sleep, your entire circadian rhythm is disrupted. Anyone who's ever been jet lagged will understand what disruption of a circadian rhythm is. Your meal timings change, your cravings change, your sleep, your mood, everything changes because your cycle was disrupted. Imagine that happening to you every day because you sleep at different timings. So again, my point is you have your own set of excuses. You want to watch TV. I'm not here to stop all of that. I'm trying to say that if you want to change your life, if you're stuck in a disease right now and it's getting worse and you've done everything you can, your only bet left is to change the way you live and align to the cycles of nature and let nature work for you. So you want to sleep, okay? Melatonin starts getting produced about 2 hours after the sun sets. So usually for most countries at about 9 o'clock is when melatonin will start getting produced. So at about 9:30, you want to start switching off your phones if you can. Maybe limit your TV at least 1 hour before bedtime to 2 hours before bedtime. If you have no exposure to blue light or artificial light, you are supporting your circadian rhythm. You are allowing more melatonin to work for your cancer, to work for you, to work for every part of your life. You can still watch Netflix. You can still do all of these things. It all comes down to the way you plan your day. Now, I have my dinner at 6 o'clock. I'm done at 6:30. From 6:30 to 9, I can watch Netflix. I can do what I want. And by 9 o'clock, I can shut off lights. I can shut off my blue lights. I can have yellow light. I can read a book. I can meditate. I can talk. I can spend time with my family. It's all about planning your time. Now, I know many people will say, oh, I'm still working at that time. Like I said, I can't solve your problems and I can't solve your excuses. But where there's a will, there's a way. Today, I have billionaires, jet set people who are the most busiest people in the world who are able to live the circadian way. So we don't have a choice. We don't have an excuse. If we want to make it work, we will find ways to work. And if we can't make it work on 7 days, we'll try to make it work for 5 days. If we can't make it work for 5 days, we'll try to make it work for 4 days. There is always a way. It comes down to your choice. It's as simple as that. Now, eating again, we want to eat within an 8-hour window, maximum 10-hour window. We want to leave about 12 to 14 hours for the body, complete rest from food, complete rest from digestion. So, for example, if I break my fast or I finish my circadian rhythm fast at about 7 or 8 or 9 in the morning, I want to consume food for only the next 8 to 10 hours. You want to try this out. It works like magic. Your energy levels will be ridiculously high. Your cravings for caffeine, your cravings for sugar will all come down. Okay, if you can't do 8 to 10, at least keep it 12. So 12 hours of feeding, 12 hours of complete rest from food. Okay, I would ideally like you to make it at least 10 hours of feeding and the balance for complete rest. Now, you can play around with that, and most people would be able to do 14 to 16 hours. But I'm not here to push that on you. Observe your rhythm, see how you feel, and do it according to that. 12 is good enough. 12 hours of complete respect and break for your body, and 12 hours where you feed your body over that 12-hour period. Okay, we spoke about coffee, we spoke about snacking, pooping. You wake up in the morning, the natural thing is to go and poop. Why? Circadian rhythm. While you were sleeping, all the waste products accumulated in your colon, and you wake up in the morning with the first light that you see in the morning, your circadian rhythm wakes you up and it opens up bowel movement. It signals, you get the feeling that you want to pass a motion, you go and you pass out waste, which is the first logical thing that you do in the body. Why would you want to get through the day with waste in your system and create more problems? So you see, the rhythm of nature is wake up and poop. That is the rhythm of nature. You don't wake up in the morning and clean your house at night. You wake up in the morning and you clean your house in the morning. The same thing in the body. When you're adjusting to the circadian rhythm, you'll find that you can poop automatically in the morning. When you're jet lagged, when you travel a lot, you'll find that your bowel movement changes because the entire biological clock has changed. So that's another example of how powerful it is. So we spoke about sleep. Now let me get straight into, let's start talking about other ways to sink into nature, sink into the laws of nature, okay? When you get up in the morning, try to, once you've pooped, brush your teeth or whatever, open the window and look outside. You need natural bright light to hit your eyes. It literally resets your circadian rhythm, and it also starts with the complete suppression of melatonin, and it can also play a correlation with the time in the night, 12 hours to 14 hours later, that your pineal gland will start producing melatonin. Even better if you can go out, get a little bit of sunlight, even 5 minutes, but don't get up, start looking at your phone. Blue light, again, will disrupt melatonin and disrupt your circadian rhythm. 1 to 2 hours after you wake up, put your phone away. So the rule of circadian rhythm is simple. Okay, wake up in the morning for the first 1 to 2 hours, no phone, no bright light, natural light. And again, 1 to 2 hours before you go to bed, cut off all natural light again. Very, very simple. That's the first rule. So get up in the morning, go out. Your serotonin is a neurotransmitter that makes you feel good. That gets stimulated in the morning when you look outside at the bright sky, when you look at the sun, when you just look at light, which is natural. Okay, so that's the first rule of circadian rhythm. When you wake up in the morning, go out and have a look. We spoke about the eating windows of about 8 to 10, maximum 12 hours. We spoke about exposure to electronics. If you really must, your work requires you to look at bright light, get the blue blocker glasses. There are a lot of people who put this down, but there's a lot of science that has proven it, that has proven the use of blue blocker glasses. It cuts out the blue light from you. So if you have to look at a screen in the night, if you have to watch TV, you have to look at your phone, at least use a blue blocker light, because it is the blue light that suppresses melatonin equals suppression in immunity, equals every possible disease out there. So for a cancer patient or someone who is seriously sick, I can promise you, if you start living the circadian way, you will get better. There's something called destiny that's not in our control. But when you align yourself like this, do it for you. Your life and your health is going to change. Try to make your bedroom as dark as possible, because we know that darkness stimulates melatonin and brightness suppresses it. So your room should be really dark. There should not be phones on and lights on and iPads. You know, you get night lights, special night lights that do not have blue light. You know, Philips makes it. A lot of brands make those lights. Your bedroom should have those lights. In fact, in the evening, once the sun sets, all the lights in your home should be soft lights. They should not be blue lights. Otherwise, you're suppressing that. You know, in your room, sometimes you have an LED light on. If you wake up in the night, in the middle of the night in darkness, and you look at that LED, that little light is enough to, again, create a disruption in your circadian brain. So try to keep your bedroom as dark as possible to the best of your ability. Regulate your sleep timings. Like I said, the best way to adjust your circadian rhythm is sleep at the same time every night and wake up when your body tells you to wake up, at least 5 out of 7 nights. And your eat cycles. Try to eat at the same time every single day, all of your meals. Of course, you reach dinner time and you're really not hungry, just don't eat. That's absolutely fine. Don't starve yourself. That's negative for you. But if you're not hungry, listen to the body. Maybe you fed your body enough of calories, or you didn't burn enough of calories. Your body's not asking you for food. Do not eat. You can eat the next morning. You'll probably break your fast a little bit earlier. And the most important thing is nature. Every time you spend time out in nature, you reset your circadian rhythms. So if you've led a stressful life and your circadian rhythm is completely disrupted, sometimes take off to nature. You know, move into the forest, into mountain areas, open areas where there's a beach. Live there for about 3 to 4 days. It's a very natural way of realigning your circadian rhythm. Even food can change your circadian rhythm. Just imagine a human body that consists of trillions of cells that require, okay, vitamins and minerals from fruits and vegetables and lean proteins and grains and all of that stuff, and we replace that with processed food. We give it junk and sugar. The signaling in your cells are completely disrupted. You create chaos in your body. Your body's looking for nutrition to build you, to sustain you, for every vital organ to live. But instead, it's getting a raw material from junk food. There is confusion and disruption in your entire rhythm of your body. And that is why junk food disrupts our cycle. Junk food, instead of filling you up, makes you more hungry. It gets you more addicted, because junk food is designed to get you addicted, so you eat more and more of it. So you got to realize that. Have your junk food, but most of your food must come from natural sources. So to maintain the circadian rhythm, we want to eat wholesome foods as far as possible. Get your calories in the earlier part of the day. If you want to have your pastries or whatever, try to have it in the morning, try to have it in the afternoon. But at night, clean food. Clean food. Your body is not going to work through a piece of cake easily, and you will maintain beautiful sugar levels. For diabetics, you may want to hear this right now. Okay, the moment daylight hits your nucleus in the morning, your insulin sensitivity starts getting better. Because guess what? Your pancreas, everything starts working the right way, because now your body expects you to eat. So your insulin sensitivity goes up. As light decreases at night, the sun sets, insulin sensitivity goes down. Now imagine feeding yourself cakes and carbs and pastries when your own body's insulin sensitivity levels are at its lowest. That's why people have fluctuating blood sugar levels in the morning, diabetes, indigestion, weight gain. Your dinner is the most important meal of the day. You can socialize, go out, do what you want. Your socializing doesn't have to revolve around food. Okay, like I said, take the weekends, do what you want. But Monday to Friday, get all your calories, your pastries, your sugars in the earlier part of the day. After 3 to 4 in the evening, you want to cut down. You want to get really, really lean. And if you live the way I'm telling you to do it, you won't have to try very hard. It'll automatically happen. It will automatically happen. Okay, great. I think we can summarize. So let's talk about how to live this new life. And here's a simple challenge. You know, a lot of you will just listen and, try to take things. Like I said, you don't need science to prove the fact that we are all not living according to the cycles of nature. At the same time, like I said, the cycles of nature have never changed, only we have, and that's why we have more disease. If we are willing to move back into a different way of living, okay, living this way, I can still socialize. I can still eat what I want, okay, responsibly. I still have a great life. Nothing in my life has changed, only the way I run my day, clock and timing. When you are a disorganized person, nothing works for you. Health, work, relationships, nothing when you're disorganized, because you become dependent on time. So the simple way of living, let's start at night, okay? We want to try to have an early dinner as early as possible. You can't do sunset at least 7 o'clock, at least 8 o'clock, but 9, 10, 11 dinners, they are ridiculously destructive. Forget about your health, your circadian rhythm. Now you know, you understand, there's enough of science and medicine showing us disruption in circadian rhythm can cause any possible diseases, and it will not allow you to heal. So that's your first motivation, okay? Live in the circadian rhythm so that we don't get disease, and if we have disease, we can heal. Have your dinner as early as possible. If you have to take certain medications, all of that stuff, then you run it your own way. Keep at least a 2 to 3 hour gap between your dinner and your bedtime. So if you eat an early dinner, guess what? Now you have time to digest, watch your TV, watch your Netflix, put off your phone, do your meditation, relax, and then sleep. Okay, so early dinners, set your sleep time, whether it's 9:30, 10:30, 11:30. Remember, the magic of sleep usually happens before midnight, okay? So you want to try to set your time. If we're setting 10:30, for the next 7 days, everyone sleeps at 10:30 in the night. Wake up. You wake up at 6, 6:30, 7, 7:30, whatever it is. Has the sun risen? If the sun hasn't risen, do not eat, period. Do not eat. Your metabolic fire is very low. Do your meditation before bed, cut off your bright light. I can promise you, if you keep that 1 hour to 2 hours gap between bright light and blue light and your bedtime, you're going to sleep like a baby. You're going to wake up so fresh, so fresh. Wake up in the morning, exercise if you're a morning person. If you're not a morning person, do your emails, do whatever it is. After you wake up, for 1 to 2 hours, no phone, no blue light. Step outside, get some sunshine. You can't step outside, open your window, look out. Blink, open up your eyes, absorb natural light, reset your circadian rhythm. Okay, sun is risen, you want to break your fast, go ahead, break your fast. Caffeine, 2.5 to 3 hours after you wake up. So if you wake up at 6:30 in the morning, 3 hours later, enjoy your caffeine after your breakfast, after lining your stomach, never on an empty stomach. You wake up at 9 o'clock, 10, 11, 12, have your caffeine. I think waking up at 9 o'clock is ridiculous because you missed sunrise. Remember, what stimulates the suprachiasmatic nucleus? Sunset, sunrise, dark, light. This is what is the main messenger to your nucleus. And based on that message, all the other clocks in your body work. So you want to try to get that exposure of morning light in you. Okay, start your day. Okay, stay hydrated during your day, get your caffeine in, your whatever it is that you want. Try to have your lunch 4 hours after you broke your fast, or 3.5 hours. Have a really good lunch. Okay, have a really good breakfast. Get most of your calories at breakfast without overeating, most of your calories at lunch without overeating. Get your workouts done if you're that morning person and all of that stuff. Post 1 to 2 o'clock, your lunch is done. You want to start limiting your caffeine. Preferably no coffee at all, because you don't want high cortisol levels when the body's trying to slow down. Okay, if you've ever noticed, energy slumps happen because your biological clocks cannot run throughout the day. They take a break too. So you suddenly have a slump in energy and stuff like that. So you finish your great lunch, maybe you have a nice evening, your cup of chai with a fruit or something like that. Your metabolism is high, usually 4 to 5. That's why most people feel hungry. They want to snack at around that time. If you're an evening person, throw in your workout at that time. That's a great time to do a workout, okay? Then you prepare for an early dinner by 6:37, 7:38, very light dinner, because you've gotten most of your calories during breakfast and during lunch. Now, dinner can be light. Don't eat like a pigeon, don't eat like a bird. Have a proper dinner. You can have a little bit of carbs, you can have your protein and your fats, but your overall consumption should be way lesser than lunch and your breakfast. So I'm not saying you got to go carb-free completely. If you can, great for you if you're looking at losing weight. If you can't, have a little bit of carb, but your plate should look little carb, more protein, more vegetables, okay? Picture a plate today, okay? Take a plate, and the time that I want you to write on the plate is, let me see if I can show you that. That's really, really effective. So this is my plate. I don't know if you can see this clearly. So in my plate, I write the time 9:20, okay? I do 9:20, and that becomes 2 quadrants, and then I connect it to midnight, which is 12 o'clock. So as you can see, I have 3 quadrants right now. This is how my plate looks. In each of these quadrants, the largest quadrant, okay, which is over here, will have my vegetables. The second largest quadrant, which is over here, will have my protein. And this is the quadrant that will have my carbs, okay? So always do the rule of 9:20 on your plate. Okay, the largest quadrant has all your veggies, okay, your starchy veggies, your normal fibrous veggies. The second quadrant will have your protein, and the smallest quadrant will have your carbohydrates. Try to maintain this for all of your meals. And at dinner time, your overall consumption should be lesser, okay? So now we've reached afternoon, we come to evening, and you have your light meal, and then you stop eating. You stop eating. You only drink water. You only drink water until you finish that 12 hours of beautiful circadian rhythm fasting. You finished your dinner. Now you have at least 2 to 3 hours before 9:30 when your melatonin starts to watch your TV, look at your social media, do all of that stuff. Come 9:30, at least an hour to an hour and a half before bed, shut off all your blue light. Read a book, write, do what you want, do your meditation, do your pranayama, and sleep. Your meditation, okay, and your pranayama before sleep and when you wake up in the morning is the most powerful. Doesn't mean you shouldn't do it during the day, because you're moving from sympathetic to parasympathetic. So visualization also works the best when? Before bedtime and immediately when you wake up in the morning. Sit up, do your visualization, do your meditation, do all of these things at the right time according to the rhythm of your body. And this is the way we need to live. It sounds simple, right? Until you bring in all of your overstimulations like, oh, what if I'm invited for a late night dinner? How do I manage that? It's simple. I have a great social life. If someone calls me for a late night dinner, I either choose to go and not eat, or I don't go at all. If it's a weekday, if it's a normal weekend, of course, I don't want to be the odd one out. So I will break it for 1 or 2 days in a week. You can break it. That's fine, because we got to be social people and we got to live. What about the other days? But in most days, since I'm used to eating at 6:30, I'm not even hungry at 9 in the night anymore on the weekend. So I just end up don't eating. I don't eat. I can still go out, have a good time with my friends, socialize, entertainment, all of that stuff. But my own body's circadian rhythm defines when I should eat, not society. So that nothing changes in your social life. You're not missing out on Netflix. I still showed you how you can get 2 to 3 hours of Netflix, even if you're living the circadian way. But do not disrespect the cycles of nature. That is why today we have so many problems, so many problems. There are girls and guys and lovers who sit up all night messaging each other and stuff like that, and they have such destroyed relationships themselves. Just being in touch more and more doesn't mean a better relationship. So you're probably going to be in a better mood to say kinder things and not get angry easily if you have a good night of sleep the next day, which can actually save your relationship. So you got to understand these are cycles of nature. No matter how intelligent man is, no matter how wealthy you are, whether your designation is a CEO or whoever you are, you can't challenge the cycles of nature. You cannot change the laws of nature. You cannot change the circadian rhythm. Now, many people work in shifts. For them, their bodies begin to adjust to it. Although I have to tell you that night shift working is detrimental to human health, period. Period. It's a choice that everyone makes. I've worked night shifts. When I worked in the call center, I think 1 or 2 years of my life, I worked night shifts every single day or on rotational basis and stuff like that. We go through that, but then we aspire for change. It doesn't have to become my life. It didn't have to become my life because I chose differently. So there are always excuses that human beings have, and there are always choices that human beings have. Like I said, there are pilots, there are doctors and nurses who will work these shifts. But like I always tell them, get used to a cycle and run that cycle the right way. If you're working night shift, then in the day, you have to actually do the opposite of what you would do in the night, and you will still be fine. But most people don't do that. They work night shifts, and in the day, they're sleeping at odd hours, they're doing work at different hours. No. If your night is going to become your day has to become your night. As simple as that. And then you can make your night shift working more effective and more healthy for you. But if you disrespect the circadian rhythm in the night and in the day, you're going to have a lot of health problems, a lot of health problems. A lot of young mothers out there with young teenage daughters, the moment they start getting PCOD, acne, all of that stuff, it's because their lifestyles have changed. They're staying up later at night, more screen time, suppressing melatonin, and all of those problems. Go back to your age when you were a teenager. Did you have those problems? The answer is no. Why? You didn't have external stimulation like kids have today. So at the end of the day, we have to live a life with discipline. I'm not saying no. I'm not saying taking anything away from your life. All I've taught you is to reorganize it within the cycles of nature. And you can be the busiest person in the world, and you can still live your life within the laws of nature. And the people who do this live happier lives, live longer lives, better quality lives without suffering, without disease. So if you're sick right now, you may have a detrimental brain tumor in you, a 4th stage cancer, please, I encourage you, okay? I literally plead with you to start living the circadian way and let the intelligence of your body kick in. Let your clock start syncing with every rhythm and harmony of nature, and it will start doing the job that it was meant to do, which was protection from you even getting the cancer in the first place. Whether you have diabetes, cardiovascular, make these changes. If you need 5 late nights in the week to define who you are, if you need 5 days of socializing to define who you are, you have a big problem with your self-worth, and you're always going to be unhappy and miserable. So it's no longer an excuse. Balance life. Give your body what it needs and take off 1-2 days to do what you want. It is so important for us to understand that it's not a new way of living. This is the way that we're supposed to live, but things have changed. So what is the best we can make out of it? What is the best we can make out of it? It's as simple. Put yourselves in the rhythm for the next 10 days. After 7 to 10 days, your body will tell you when your energy is the highest, when you feel the hungriest, when you don't feel hungry. It's beautiful how your body talks to you and tells you when to eat, how much to eat, and all of that stuff. When to sleep, when to wake up. No human being. You can pay me all the money in the world. Even I can't tell you what time is the best for you to eat, how much you need to eat, when you need to sleep, how many hours of sleep you need. So we finished about 1 hour of this. Change your life. Try this. You may not choose to live this way, but if it ever comes to a point where you are unfortunately struck down with disease, or you're going through depression and obviously nothing's working around you, put yourself into the laws of nature, and then you will experience the incredible, limitless power of nature, how it heals you, how it makes you feel, how it gets you out of your depression and everything else. Thanks for your time, everyone. Of course, to make your time worthwhile, mine is worthwhile because this has changed the lives of hundreds of thousands of people around the world, including my own. So my advice to you is to try this for the next 7 to 8 days. Try living in the circadian rhythm. Okay, just try doing all these little points. It doesn't cost you money, and you are gonna feel so different. Over the last couple of days, I had a lady in 4 days. Okay, I just changed her rhythm for her. I told her, listen, you're sleeping at 12 every night. Just sleep at 10. sleep at 10 for 4 nights, wake up, stop working out at 7 in the evening, start working out at 7 in the morning. Within 4 days, the way her health and her life has changed is incredible. There's no magic that I've done. The magic that is done is her own body, because she realigned her health with the cycles of nature. So whether it's depression, cancer, cardiovascular, you want to feel better, you want to feel energetic, you want to have a stronger brain, you operate within the cycles of nature that define us, you will not have a problem. You challenge the cycles of nature, you challenge the rhythm that which we should be vibrating with, you will have every possible problem in the world. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you.